Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you in another video. All right, so the score was 123-118. The Lakers got the victory at home against the Spurs. And it was good to have Bron back, man. 30 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Maybe. I don't exactly remember the stats, but that's what we were, somewhere around there with Bron. He definitely took it to the Spurs in a real way. Anthony Davis, 10 out of 14 from the field, 28 points, double-digit boards. Austin Reeves, man, now that's the person I really want to talk about in regards to this game. He was a +1. He had 9 assists. Don't exactly remember how many points. I don't remember how many points he had, but he had 5 turnovers and 2 blocks. This was one of the worst Austin Reeves games I've ever seen, man. The stats do not tell the story because he shot fairly well. The 3-ball shot fair for him, but to me it seemed like, and as all the times I complain about Austin in certain situations, he ain't never played this bad. So he shot worse than this for sure. You've seen him get blown by on defense, but those weren't the problems we were having tonight. Tonight, the problem with him was just bonehead turnovers. Bonehead, like you're going to try to lay the ball up over Wemby type stuff. Going to pass a lackluster pass around Wemby. Wemby had 5 blocks and 5 steals. And I'm pretty damn certain most of those steals came off of Austin Reeves' nonsense. This was the second game in a row. Second game in 2 nights where Wemby had 5 blocks and 5 steals. That's 10 blocks and 10 steals in 24 hours. That's what Wemby's doing out there. He had oh my goodness, he had over 25 points, probably like 13 rebounds, like 9 assists. Wembanyama is a masterpiece fantasy basketball player. If you got him on your fantasy teams, you know what I'm talking about. Doesn't get a whole lot better than that. It just don't get a whole lot better than that. I was one of the premier players in basketball as a rookie. So where he gonna be 5-6 years from now, probably your MVP. I'm just gonna tell y'all right now. Anthony Davis, if I didn't mention him already, he had I believe it was 28 points. He really had a good game. 10 out of 14 I've already mentioned. Still rusty, man. Very rusty today. But I'm talking about myself, not Anthony. But, it's one of those situations where I thought our team shot okay. 40% from the field, 50+% from the 3, 60 points in the paint. We like that. D'Angelo Russell had a good shooting night for the most part. Bounced back strong from yesterday's not so good shooting night. 22 points, 9 assists. I believe he had. No, 6 assists. Maybe that was 6 assists. I think that's where we were with that. Rui Hachimura was 17.7 rebounds. I thought he was strong. We saw a block in the end because I'm telling y'all, he blocks a shot every night. We saw Rui's a real thing. Jackson Hayes, I believe, had 8 points, something like that, 4 rebounds, something like that. I thought he played well in short minutes. Not a whole lot coming off of the bench. Taurean Prince had an okay night. Not really that great. I didn't like some of the stuff I saw from him in the second half. And to be honest with you, I didn't like what I saw from him in the first half. And to be honest with you, in the second half, I didn't see a whole lot of the game because I was having significant link issues. Very, very significant in the fourth quarter especially. It was very, very difficult trying to watch the game. But, for the most part, I thought we left our main guys out there too long in the fourth quarter. I will say that. We didn't check in our garbage time guys until like 30 seconds remaining in the fourth, which I just thought was just kind of silly, to be honest with you. Just really silly. When we were up by, an average of like 12 points throughout the course of the whole damn quarter, I just being overly cautious against a team that ain't that good. I mean, Wemby's amazing, but on a night where Devin Vassell is like 3 for 15 or something like that, I mean, we had won the game. We probably should have saw our garbage time guys in there for much longer than we did. But all in all, what's going to stand out about this game for me, besides Wembanyama going absolutely nut, was Austin Reeves and how off he was tonight. I mean, just really, really uncharacteristic stuff, man. Talk about just things that Austin does not do. I guess that's what it comes down to. Extremely outside of his character as it pertains to how pedestrian he was with the basketball. I pride Austin on being one of the smartest players in our team. And all night long, he was having issues with that. But he was making good plays. The 3-ball fell. He was making some heads up plays, laying the ball up and stuff like that. Certain things were working out, but it seems like he was just bumbling and fumbling all night long. I mean, he might as well put on a 0 and had a Westbrook jersey on the way he was passing the ball around out there. It was that bad. It really, really was. So I wonder what's going on with Austin. That's what comes to mind. Like, what's going on with Austin, yo? Because, man, I ain't never seen him play like that. I've watched him his entire career now. This is 3 years, and I've seen him play horrible. But these aren't ever the problems that we have with him. Ever. Like, ever. So I'm just curious if something's going on off the court that had him completely distracted tonight. So yeah, that's what came to mind, man. But happy we won. Braun, I believe, will get the game ball from me. I think so. He was very aggressive, filled up the box score. Even though Anthony Davis had such a phenomenally efficient basketball game and was really killing it, I thought more of what AD did was in the first half, and I thought he just kind of took a back seat to everybody else in the second half. But then again, I didn't see a whole lot of that second half, so what can I talk about, really? But yeah, Braun was just aggressive, man. I love what I saw from him scoring the ball. His mid-range shot was falling pretty good in the first half, kind of weaned off in the second half, but giving us 30 points. I mean, if we would have got them 30 points, 8 assists last night, we beat the Golden State Warriors. So obviously he needed to bounce back and give us some. Malachi Branham dunked on him real bad. I actually didn't get a chance to see that because of the link issue, but I did see stills of the poster, so I'm sure I'll check it out on IG and see how bad LeBron was bodied tonight by Malachi, who had 17 points. As I told you guys, Malachi Branham's a good player, man. He really is. I would love for the Lakers to come pick him up down the road. He's going to be a good player for a long time. Excuse me. Keldon Johnson had a pretty good game off the bench. They've moved him to the bench role. He seems to be flourishing okay after that. Jeremy Sohan had a really good game tonight. Double digits. He had a double-double and some defensive stats as well. So, yeah, just little stuff like that just comes to mind. But, you know, Wembanyama dominated, man. He dominated out there. And it's a good thing the rest of his team couldn't really do nothing for him. To be completely honest with you. Zach Collins had double-digit points tonight. He definitely got in the scoring column. But Devin Vassell had a fantastic game yesterday and then turned around and laid an egg here tonight, which is exactly what we needed. Because if he was on a heater, this is a different game, man. If he shot the way he shot last night and Wembanyama plays like he did, we're probably looking at another loss. You know, because I just don't think we were as sharp as we needed to be out there overall. It was a good thing D'Lo bounced back. But them 5 turnovers from Austin, man, I would love to go study the tape on this game and just take a look at just how many times he did something that put the ball in jeopardy tonight. I guarantee you it was more than 5. It was probably about 15. Like every time he got the ball, if it wasn't scoring or making plays, because he did have some nice assists out there, as we said, with 9 of them, made some real nice dimes, but he was throwing the ball off other people's hands. He was giving the ball to the defense. Or making bad passes, or trying to lay the ball up over Wembanyama repeatedly. Even I think Wembanyama got like 2 or 3 blocks off of Austin. Very, very uncharacteristic stuff, man. And I'm hoping it does not carry forward. Let this be a one and done type of thing like that. But I'm telling y'all, Austin's having a down season for his standards, and it's been like that all year. He's had some good games this year, but for the most part, we've really had a bad season with Austin Reeves, man. It just is what it is. And Tonight was the first night where I'm honestly scratching my head, wondering what the heck was that, bro? What was that? So the stats do not tell the story, and not at all. And I'm glad we played the Spurs, because if we were playing against anybody else, I'm pretty sure we don't win, man. But it's good to see Rui Hachimura in that starting lineup, continuing to get an opportunity to 17.7 rebounds. That's a big deal to me. I just think we need to continue to trust Rui. Even when people get back, nobody needs to be pulling Rui out of the starting lineup, man. And as I've already mentioned, Taurean Prince, I thought we overused him a little bit tonight, man. I could have used a little more Max Christie. Max Christie only got like 13 minutes, didn't really make an impact tonight. Maybe could have used him a little more. Maybe could have threw in a different player as well. You know who else had a weird game? And we mentioned this at halftime. Spencer Dinwiddie, man. Spencer Dinwiddie, he had like 1 rebound, 1 assist, missed all his shots, fouled once, and was like a plus 21 or some weird stuff. Like, just a very bizarre game there for him too. Very bizarre, man. Um, did not score, but great things happened while he was on the floor. I guess. I guess that's what that equates to. Everybody around him balled out while he was out there. So that plus minus stat is a bit, it's a bit weird, man. I know that I understand it. I understand it fully, but it's still just, even when you understand the stat, it can be a bit bizarre. And this is one of those nights specifically for him and Austin Reeves, where you just sitting there saying that did not tell the story at all, not even a little bit. So yeah, man, that's really what it is. I had a lot more to say about this game beforehand this morning than I really do after seeing it. Partially because I saw so little of it in the second half. It really that was really frustrating trying to get them links to work. But all in all, I was thrilled by what I saw from our two centers, specifically, well, the two centers on the floor, Anthony Davis and Wembanyama in the first half. I thought they were really going back and forth, really dominant. The efficiency of Anthony Davis cannot be stressed enough. He was really, really efficient with that 10 to 14. And, you know, it was good to see our team shoot well. Last night we shot 28% from behind the arc. I thought, you know, with us coming back shooting 40%, I really, really think that's a recipe for success for us. If we can shoot above 40% from the three, we're probably not going to lose very much. I mean, that's just really how it goes. So, yeah, man, I wish I had more to say. But that's really the gist of it, man. San Antonio Spurs are just not that great of a team. And as I said in my Laker NBA video, as I was walking down Sunset Boulevard today, I just think that San Antonio Spurs should really consider in this offseason mortgaging a few of those picks and bringing themselves another star, man. Don't do it through the draft. All this tanking crap is not. That's not what you need to be doing. What you need to be doing is getting Wembanyama 2-1 inmates that could get him to the championship. That's what y'all need to do. Take one half of your picks, get one guy, take the other half of your picks to get another guy. And I really think that. I really believe that. Because if they would have done that already, and then they'd be one of the better teams in the Western Conference with him being one of the top 3 defensive players in the league. He just is. It's us. And when I say us, I mean AD. It's probably Rudy. And then it's like him. Like literally him. You can talk about Bam Adebayo. You talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo. Those are the guys that come to mind that are elite defensive players. Obviously, there are others, specifically guards and stuff like that we know of. But like, I don't know that some of those guys that I mentioned are more talented than Wembanyama. And if you check the stats over the last 2 nights, they ain't doing what he doing. They're not doing that. And his passing is so very underrated. And obviously he could rebound the ball over anybody. He could dribble better than any big in the league. I don't know how this guy doesn't turn out to be the best player in the league someday. Like, I don't know how. You know, they got some fantastic guys. Ant Edwards, Luka Doncic, Jokic, Embiid. You know, there's a lot of guys that are going to try to take that. But when it really comes down to it, what I'm seeing from Wembanyama in his rookie season tells me he's going to be greater than all them dudes, man. It tells me he's going to be greater than all of them, y'all. So that's really what I have to say. I'm seeing it. Then you see stat lines like what he had tonight, and you realize that they're not even giving him 35 minutes. He ain't even scratching the 30-minute mark on most nights. Oh, man, come on, man. The Spurs are holding him back. He'd have been an all-star this year if he played pretty much for anybody else. Pretty much for anybody else, man. So that's really what I got to say. I take more away from the opponent in a sense that Wembanyama is far better than he's probably supposed to be this soon, man. And I just think the Spurs are you know, we'll see what they do. Because obviously you didn't want to mortgage everything if you didn't know if he was ready. But now that they've seen a season, they know he's ready. I would be very surprised if they're not sellers with them picks, trying to get somebody this offseason. Somebody big, too. Because he don't need to be playing with no young players at all. He don't need to have a team young like him. That's out at this point. That's over with. He needs to be playing with some real one mates that are ready to win a championship right away. And if he was with those guys, I ain't sure he wouldn't be the best team, be a part of the best team. You know, I'm not sure he wouldn't be, because he's one of the best players. That's for sure. And so that's what I take away from this one, man. I arguably think I should be giving the game ball to him, but I never give the game ball to a loser. But it was no question of who was the most dominant player on the floor tonight. It was Wembanyama. It just was, man. So yeah, that's what it is. That's my take on that. You don't hear me talk like this very often, but that kid ain't nothing to play with, man. He ain't nothing to play with. And I told y'all he was gonna do something like this because this is the only night this season where he'd be playing on the Laker floor. So you knew he'd try to get his career high and do all that stuff he does defensively. And we played right into his hands as far as what our offense was doing. Because we laid the ball up over him like we were silly, trying to pass. As I said, stuff that we knew dang well we shouldn't have been trying around him. And I just think that I honestly think people are in denial about what it is he's capable of doing. When they see him because he's thin, they think, I can lay the ball. He's not that strong, so I can push him out the way. You got to clear him out of the way. You got to push him. I saw Anthony Davis in a play earlier in the game, around the second quarter, where he was able to score over Wemby. And the reason why he did it is because he bumped him so hard that he pumped him out of position so that he had the space to lay the ball up over. If he's up on you, you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that, man. There was another play where Jackson Hayes went up and under to keep from getting blocked. It was the only way. If you try to dunk the ball head up, whether you've beat him or not, he's going to get to it. And so you got to adjust. And I thought our team, from player to player, didn't do the greatest job of adjusting around this kid. And I think a lot of teams had that problem because they just don't. There's nothing like him in the league. So you think you can do certain things, even against the Giannis's and Embiid's and all these guys. You think you can get away with certain things. And when you come up against that particular dude, hell no. Hell no. And so that's what it really comes down to, man. There's nothing like him out there. And people need to start, really being honest about where he's going to stand defensively going forward. And I'm talking about players as it pertains to what you can try and what you cannot around him. You just don't. I said it in the pregame and I say it now. Don't try to lay the ball up around this dude. Don't do nothing lackluster around him. And if he's in the vicinity, chances are he can get to whatever it is you're going to be letting loose. If you're going to pass the ball around him, he can get to it. And so I know better. And I thought I was preparing my team for that, but apparently they weren't listening to me because this was not our greatest night against him. But luckily enough, the rest of his team is just not quite developed. And so we'll see what they do. We'll see what happens there as far as our Lakers are concerned. I thought we were okay tonight. Just like I said last night, C+. I give us like a C+ tonight too. I don't think we were crazy great. It was good to have Braun back. And I tell you the truth, now that this game has been played, I don't think we win it if Braun don't play. I don't think we win this game if Braun don't play. You know what I mean? So that's a real thing, especially with the way that Anthony Davis got in foul trouble early in the game. You don't. So I'm just curious to see if the Lakers are going to have trouble with the Spurs in future seasons. If we stay constructed the way that we are. They've already played us great 3 games in a row. Let's just be honest. The first game we played against the Spurs, they almost came back and beat us in an epic choke job where we barely squeezed out. The very next night, they blew us out. And in this game, they had a chance to keep it close down the stretch of the basketball game. I mean, they had opportunities. Which is why I think Coach didn't pull the starters off the floor, because they had cut it to 5 or something like that at the end of the third or somewhere in the early fourth. So I just wonder if this is going to be something that carries forward in future seasons. We maybe don't match up very well with them as we think. So that's a real thing, man. But this is the final meeting of the season series with this team. We only see them 3 times. We won that 2-1, as I've previously illustrated. And it's meaningful in the sense that we get our wins, but it's meaningless because obviously they're not making the playoffs. But that is what it is, man. Underrated Jeremy Sohan. He's a better player than people give him credit for. And he probably should be a part of the trade that gets them a star, man. He's somebody who can help net you something. He probably shouldn't be playing with Wembanyama for much longer because he's a good big in his own right. And so... yeah, man, that's pretty much what I got to say about this game. It was a lot of fights tonight, man. It was a fight with the Charlotte Hornets and the Golden State Warriors. It was a fight with the Miami Heat and the New Orleans Pelicans. Guys are chippy coming out of All-Star break. And I'm glad we're not a part of anything like that. So let's just keep our composure, Lakers. We don't need any suspensions because Lord knows there's going to be some suspensions coming down for all of those guys. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about everything, really. Spurs did not win, but I don't walk away feeling too good about this, just how we looked these last 2 games. I'm not thrilled, man. We got some work to do to try to shore up some things, because if we're gonna go on a push to really beat some good teams, for which we're gonna see next, Phoenix, Clippers, OKC, we could lose all those games if we play the way we played these last 2. So that's pretty much what comes to mind for me, man. That's pretty much what I got. Video 44. I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.